All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Machak Wadash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. This is just going to be a nice short lesson, okay, concerning, patience. All right, in when we are put in situations, all right, that we might not necessarily understand. All right, at the moment, we got to be patient. All right, and always remember to be spiritual. All right, because oftentimes, or not oftentimes, all the time, all right, as it tells you here in the book of Romans, whatever it is that the Lord is doing for you, all right, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and ultimately, if you're of the elect, it's going to work out for you. It's really for your benefit, okay? Though you might not be able to see it, because remember, the scriptures say the Lord declares the end from the beginning, all right? So if the Lord is doing something for your benefit in the long run, you might not see it right then and there on the spot, and it might not feel nice right then and there on the spot. It might feel like chastisement. It might feel like you catching hell, or you're going through this, or you're going through that. But if you didn't go through what it is that the Lord is putting you through, all right, at that moment, then you can't either appreciate, number one, appreciate or get to the point in which He's trying to take you to, right? So this is Romans chapter 8, getting to the point, verse 20. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 27. It says, "And he that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit." Okay, because that heart going to what? The heart goes into your the Hebrew word lab, which means your mind. Okay, and that's really what your mind is, what drives everything else. Like what you think. Okay, is how you act. Okay, what you're able to understand from what you're seeing, or what you're feeling is what you react based on. Okay, and that's really your spirit within you. Okay, so like it says here, knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit. So that, number one, there's nothing that you can hide from the Most High. He knows what hurts you the most, or what makes you the most happiest. He knows things that you don't even know. Okay, so it says, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of the Most High. Okay, and what then? And Yahweh Shai does that. Okay, Yahweh Shai is our mediator. He's the one who's pleading on our behalf. Okay, just like when he came upon the earth, he came to die to be that bridge to reconcile us back to the Father. Okay, he does the same thing, and that's why the scriptures say, if you deny the Lord, all right, in front of everybody else, he's going to deny you in front of his Father. Okay, because he's pleading on your case. So if you're not standing for him, he's not going to stand for you. So verse 28, and we know that all things, right, that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High, to them who are the called according to his purpose. All right, that's the elect. But all things work to the good of the elect. Okay, so regardless of what it might feel like at the moment, it works for the good. When you catch hell, that's working for your good. It's to make you better. Okay, when the Lord gives you certain perks, that's working for your good. It's to give you that balance. There's the saying, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All right, so if you're the Lord balances it out all the time. Okay, but whatever situation you might find yourself in, it's not necessarily for your destruction. All right, but if you're of the elect, it's for your good. Okay, and that's why you have to remain patient, because at the end, later on down the line, the Lord will reveal it to you as to why he made you go down a certain way, or why he purposely had you do something that in the flesh might have felt bad, or you might have felt like, damn, this is annoying, this is unbearable, this is vexing. But at the end, you understand. Oh, okay, I understand why I had to go through that. So with that, we're gonna move to Hebrews chapter 12. Okay, I'll start at verse 5, and it says here, matter of fact, let me start at verse 3. It says, "For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds." Okay, so I'm going to start at verse 1, actually. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. "Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses." All right, because guess what? as of right now, not being that not everybody's a prophet, you still have those, all right, that are not of the 144,000, but they are witness, okay, to what we're doing. Okay, you have people who watch, people who listen, people who help. Okay, they are all a part of the witnesses, that cloud of witnesses. Okay, as to what it is that we're doing. All right, it says, "Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us." Okay, so why you want to lay aside every weight? All right, and the sin that doth so easily beset us is because weights will what? They slow you down. Okay, when you have weights, all right, on you, what they're really suppressing your full speed. And that's why people use that. People do weighted training to either get stronger or to get faster. Okay, but so they don't do it, all right, just to keep it permanently. They do it so that when they get used to it, when they take it off for the actual race, they can run their best. But we don't need weights on us right now. Okay, because once you have that, you have that weighted vest. You have the weighted whatever ankle weights and what all those things. Those are all slowing you down. It's making you tired quicker. So you want to drop all of that, man. Okay, it says, and the sin which doth easily beset us. If you know there's something that's so especially your weakness, you gotta stay far away from it. Okay, if you see it's over there, go the opposite way, man. Okay, it says, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Okay, because this is a race, all right, a race in which patience means to suffer. Okay, this is a race we're running that, yes, it gets vexing, yes, it gets annoying, yes, it gets you suffer in it, because you know a lot of things, and the scriptures tell you, basically, much wisdom is much grief, or much sorrow, you know. So the more you learn, the more you're grieved, because you understand more. You're seeing, damn son, now you're seeing everything that's wrong. You're not just seeing the little bit of rights, but then you're seeing everything that's wrong, because you now know what wrong is. So now when you see it all around you, it's even more vexing. Okay, so it says, looking onto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, all right, for who the joy that was for who or Slakia, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross. Okay, because what was Yahushua's reward? The Lord gave him dominion over everything. Okay, the kingdom, everything. That's for Yahushua. All right, and when the elect are going to be joint heirs with Yahushua, because he's going to share it with them. Okay, so it says, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. So when Yahushua was on here, man, his whole life, all the hell he caught, people talk constantly, trying to curse him out, saying all these different things, and you got to understand, it's more difficult when because he came from the spirit world. Okay, he was the first spirit creator. He knows all of that, man. So it's like for funny, your creation, all right, to look at you and then revile you and talk all this smack about you when you're here to fulfill prophecy that's for their benefit. Just imagine what that's like. Imagine the mental toll that takes on you, constantly having to do that. Okay, knowing that what's going to happen for those that don't hear your message, but that they're not going to hear it. So it says, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. Because he was embarrassed, man. He was spat on. All right, he was hit. People just kept talking smack. All these different things, and it wasn't like over a little small crowd. No, it was a big thing. Okay, it was a big thing. So it says, for consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. See, so you're catching hell. You're going through these different things, and you can't see, because at the end of the day, after Yahushua had endured the cross and despised the shame, he's sitting down at the right hand of the Most High, waiting for his enemies to be his footstool. So as of that was the good. At the moment, it didn't feel good, to the point where Yahushua prayed to Yahweh, all all right, for if it be the Lord's will to let that cup pass, okay, but because it didn't feel good, he was in the flesh. But at the end of the day, it was for his good, okay, and that's why he's gonna get what he's gonna get. So that's why it's telling us, man, when you're going through what you're going through, all right, and you feel like you're catching hell and you're going through all these different things, and sometimes it feels unbearable. Remember what Yahweh Shai went through, because what we're going through is not on the level of what he went through. Okay, none of us could have done what he did, but yet he still did it. Okay, so then that's what tells you, yo, like, you know what I mean, you gotta pick it up and go, man, because that's our big brother. He was able to bear his cross. See, everybody's cross has been designed for them. All right, just like everybody's journey has been designed for you. So the Lord knows your strengths, your weaknesses, your limits, and your cross, all right, your burdens have been designed just for you. Okay. But you, like it says here, you got to consider what Yahweh Shai went through so it can give you the strength to keep going, man, lest you be weary and faint in your minds. It says, ye have not resisted unto blood, striving against sin, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. Why? Because it's not for your destruction. It's not because the Lord is trying to make you just it's pointless. No, it's all for the good of you. All right, when you're put through the furnace of adversity, so you can come out on the other side purer and stronger and better and more valuable. But in the moment when you're going through that fire, it doesn't feel nice. But that's why you have to keep your mind on what? The outcome. Okay, so it says, despise not the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. Okay, whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth. So if you're going through the chastisement, guess what? Yes, it will balance out. Sometimes it will feel worse than others, but the Lord is doing that because he loves you. Okay, and he's trying to bring out or draw out the best that he can out of you, because he knows what he put in you. Okay, it says, if ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the father chasteneth not? Because when a parent by instinct, that a parent by nature is supposed to want to correct their child when they go off, because they want their child to stay on the right path, to stay in the right lane. But when the parent gets to the point where they feel like, you know what, I'm done with you, do whatever you want, I don't care anymore, then they've lost that love of trying to get what's best for you, because now they're just going to let you be a delinquent. Okay, so they don't consider you a son anymore, because a son, all right, is going to be disciplined by the father. So if the father is a righteous man, he wants his son to grow up to be a righteous man as well. Therefore, he's going to discipline him. He's going to discipline his son so he can drive out all the unrighteousness out of the son and leave only the righteousness. And that's why it says here, if ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. Okay, because chastisement leads to your discipline. Okay, when you get chastised, it's so you can be disciplined and you can remember, okay, damn, I know that I shouldn't do this because I was chastised when I did it. So next time you think twice about doing it. And the more and more you do that, it just becomes a part of you not to do whatever it is that you got chastised for doing. All right. It says, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, wherefore all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. Okay, you're a bastard. You're not a son, because you don't have anybody to chastise you. A father will chastise his son. A son will get chastised by his father. But if you're walking around without chastisement, then that means you don't have a father. Okay. It says, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Okay, because when as a child, you might not necessarily understand why your father might discipline you the way he disciplines you. But when you grow up and that discipline is stuck and is instilled with you, and then that discipline delivers you from trouble because you didn't go down that path, guess what? At that moment, you're gonna remember and you're gonna reverence your father, because you're gonna be like, yo, had he not disciplined me, had he not stopped me from doing these things I was doing as a kid, and it stuck with me and I grew up with it, I would have ended up in this situation that this young man that I'm looking at is in, because I see that what he's doing is what I used to do as a kid, you know, but he was never chastised, so it stuck with him, and now this is the path in which he's gone, and this is the path in which I would have went as well had I not been chastised. You see? So as a child, because I didn't see this future, I didn't see myself falling in trouble because of that. All I saw was that it was fun. I wanted to do it. So I didn't understand why I would get beat for doing it. You know, all I knew is that, oh, I would just get beat if I did this, because I would be told it's bad. Don't do it. Okay? But now you thank your father, because after he chastised you or he beat you for doing that, okay, and it stuck with you, to where even at a young age, if you didn't understand why you shouldn't do it, you just understood that you shouldn't do it because you're gonna get beat. So you don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, and then in the future you understand, damn, this is the real reason why I got beat for doing those things, because it would have led me into jail, it would have led me into the grave, it would have led me into trouble, you know. So it says, and you reverence what? Your father for that, okay, or whoever disciplined you, you reverence them for that, because you'd remember, yo, thank you, you stopped me, what, 15 years down the line, okay, you stopped me before I got to that point. So it says, verse 9, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? Because yes, you have fathers according to the flesh that'll discipline you, okay, and they will correct you, but that's according to as best as they can do, okay? Because at the end of the day, man is not perfect, okay? Until the Lord changes us and makes us perfect, we're not perfect. So all right, or a father can only correct his son according to what he knows. He can only teach him as much as he knows, all right? But the Most High is perfect. So like it says here, shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? Because everything the Lord does is righteous. Whatever his will is, that is the correct way to do it. So should we not rather be subject unto him and take chastisement from him? Okay? Because your father could correct you on certain things, but other things he might not be able to correct you on. Maybe he didn't see you do it. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he wasn't corrected on it. So you might grow up and be disciplined in certain things, but other things you might not be, because that's just common nature. But if you're subject, all right, and you're being chastised by the Most High, there's not going to be any field or any corner or any aspect that you're not going to be disciplined in, okay, that you're going to end up saying, damn, I was disciplined in this, but had I known this, I wouldn't have done it. No, the Most High knows your heart. He knows your mind. He knows what you're susceptible to do. He knows what your weakness is. And that's why you have the scriptures here to comfort you. The scriptures tell you everything you should and shouldn't do, okay? Because once you're subject unto the chastisement or the discipline of the Most High, guess what? You stay out of trouble. You know how to move, okay? So it says, and live, because what is the chastisement of the Most High? The Most High chastises you when you go off, when you do something that's wrong, all right, when you sin, okay? And then the penalty for sin is death. So he's trying to stop you from getting to sin, because once you get to sin, you're going to get to death, all right? So if you're subject to the laws or the chastening of the Most High, then you're not going to go down the path of sin, and in turn, you're going to live, all right? It says, for they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Okay, yeah, because your parents they'll chastise you for their own pleasure, as in, okay, I've disciplined them the right way that I see fit. Now I know, okay, he's good now. Okay, but it says here, but he, the Most High, he chastises us for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Our chastisement, our spiritual chastisement we go through, is for everlasting life. It's for immortality. It's for a kingdom. It's for peace. It's for joy. It's for all of that. It's for the holiness. Okay. It says, verse 11, now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous, because in the moment you you know what I mean? You're not really enjoying it. It's not a real good feeling. Okay, even though you might know that it's for the good, but it might not feel good. Okay, when certain people, as especially as a child, you eating vegetables, they tell you got to eat it. It doesn't taste good, but they tell you it's good for you. Okay, now you're like, you're saying it's good, but it tastes bad, you know. But the feel is not necessarily the result. The results might be good, but the feel isn't good. Okay, but that's how it is. In order to get to the good, you have to go through the bitter in order to get to the sweet. Okay, so it says, now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Okay, so if you're exercising it, if you're being chastised, if you're learning from it, yeah, it doesn't feel good when you getting chastised at the moment, but the outcome, all right, is what you're looking for, and that's in everything: training, practice, working out, all right, dieting, discipline, studying, all these different things. Guess what? We do it as a necessity, or as a need, as a have to, so we can get to the other side. you know I'm studying because I want to gain knowledge. I'm working out, right? It's not like I'm enjoying the pain or I'm enjoying the burn. No, I'm working out because I know I want to enjoy how I'll look afterwards, or the strength I'll gain afterwards. you know I'm eating these vegetables, though they're bitter and I don't like them, but I'm eating it because at the end of it, the sweetness is gonna come. Where I'm gonna feel good about myself. I'm gonna be healthier. So I'm doing all these things that in the moment might be grievous. They might not feel joyous, but at the end are gonna what? They're gonna give me what I'm looking for. So you're catching hell. You're enduring the wickedness all around you. You're staying away from it. All right, because at the end, what that if you do that, you're gonna gain that kingdom, man. If you denounce the chip and you decide to go hungry for a couple of days, you decide to live the hard way, where things aren't easy, things aren't common, and rely on faith. Yeah, it might not feel good at the moment, okay, but at the end, the Lord will bless you, man. The Lord will provide food for you. Okay, you might starve a couple of days, but He'll provide the food for you. You might be tired, but He'll give you an eternal rest. Okay, you might be sick, you might be weak. He'll give you a new body. Okay. Yep. So I think that was it on that part. All right, and I got one more precept. This is in the book of James, right, chapter 4. I'll start at verse 2. It says, "Ye lust and have not, ye kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lusts." So there's certain times when you might pray for something and might not get it, or might not get it at the time that you're looking for it. Even that is for your own good. Okay, when you pray for something and you don't get it, that is also for your own good, because sometimes you might be praying for something that might end up destroying you. You might be praying for something that might end up leading you down the wrong path. And so the Lord looking down the line into the future, something that you can't do like He does. Guess what? He knows, no, if I give this to you, you're going to go down the wrong path. So I'm not going to give it to you. Now you feeling like, damn, the Most High ain't hear my prayer. No, He heard it, but He made the right decision for your betterment. Why? Because all things work to the good of them that love the Most High. So if you love the Most High, you have faith in the Most High. Even if He puts you in a situation that's uncomfortable, it doesn't feel nice, all right, or you really want this thing that you're praying and asking for, but you're not getting it. Guess what? There's a reason. Sometimes it's not that He's not going to give it to you, but the timing is not right. If He gives it to you, there's certain things that if the Lord gave it to you right when you asked for it, you would have been destroyed. All right, in terms of you wouldn't have had the correct amount of experience or faith or whatever to handle it at that moment. So the Lord might give you what you ask for later down the line, because it's for your own benefit. Because the same thing that could destroy you if you're not prepared for it can also build you up when you are prepared for it. So the Lord keeps all of that in mind when he's dealing. Okay. But hey, man, that's why it says here, ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust. Lust is of the flesh, and the flesh is what? The flesh is subject to sin. And what is the wages of sin? The wages of sin is death. So if you're asking for things to consume upon your lust, guess what? You're asking for things to put you in a carnal mindset. However, when you ask of things to increase your spirit, the Lord gives it to you right then and there, man. You might pray for a topic. You might pray for more faith, more wisdom, more knowledge. All these things that are behooving to you or beneficial to you. When you pray for them, they come right away because they're priority. The other stuff are perks. The other stuff are luxuries. Okay, but the main thing, the foundation, that's what the Lord gives you right then and there, man. And sometimes that might not even come right then and there, because there's certain things that in order to get them, you don't just poof, you just get them like that. No, in order to get them, you have to go through something. You have to earn them. Okay, you have to grow them. And how do you do that? By experience. So you might ask for faith, and the Lord will put you in a certain experience. He'll give you a certain experience. Why? Because it's supposed to grow your faith. Okay, but those are all the precepts I had. Okay, Lord willing, this is edifying unto the elect. Just keeping in mind that, yeah, there's certain times when you'll be going through stuff. It might feel like you're going through it for a long time. Okay, you might not see a way out. You might not understand why you're going through it. But keep in mind that one thought, that at the end of it is for your benefit. And though you might not know why now, some point in the future, you'll look back and understand. Oh, okay, I see why the Lord did this to me. So yeah, it doesn't feel good. I feel sick. I'm going through this. I'm broke. I'm this. Whatever the case may be. Remember, the Most High, He's putting you in that situation for a reason. The scripture said the Most High loves us, not that He hates us. He loves us. Okay, so if He loves us, then that means He wants what's best for us. Though we might not see it as though, or might not see it as such. Matter of fact, I actually ended with this precept here. All right, we might not see it as such. We have to remember spiritually that is the case. Okay, because oftentimes things aren't. You shouldn't make decisions based on your what you're seeing, more of what you know through faith, man. Okay, or else if that was the case, man, you look around, you really go insane. Okay, with the world we live in. So this is Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Okay, so if you come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation, because number one, the Lord doesn't just let anybody in. No, everybody goes through their trials. And temptation, once you're delivered from temptation, guess what? You go up a level. Okay, so it says, set thy heart aright, meaning set your mind right. Okay, come in here with the right mindset. Okay, it says, and constantly endure, because you're constantly going to be hit with things to endure. All right, and make not haste in time of trouble, because that's where you get irrational decisions. All right, the second something happens, you're so quick to do something that you might do the wrong thing. Okay, here it is. You see something coming at you. Instead of examining exactly where it's going, you step into the right, and next thing you know, maybe the thing is trying to swerve you, and then it goes to the right, and then boom, collision. Okay, so you gotta really examine things before you act upon them. Okay, so it says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. So when you're going through this, you're supposed to, even though it's coming from the Lord, you're supposed to seek him and cleave unto him. Don't run the other way, because it's only going to get worse, man. Because the cure, all right, the medicine and the disease both come from the same creator. Okay, the cure and the sickness both come from the same person, the same creator. So if the Most High gives you a sickness, where do you think you have to go to get the cure for that? You got to go to the Most High. Okay, you can't run away, because then what? You're just going to be running away with the sickness. Okay, so you have to cleave onto him. Why is he doing that? Because he's getting you accustomed to seeking him in time of trouble, man. Okay, it says that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Okay, whatsoever is brought, because that's when you're going to find out why the Most High gave you that disease, okay? Or that's how you're gonna find the antidote to that disease, okay? But if you run away, guess what? You might run 50 miles, but you didn't run your problem. You didn't leave your problems behind, because your problem was with you. So that problem is with you wherever you end up until you face it, okay? So it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate, okay? Because, hey, when any, and that's just basics, man. When something gets broken down, it usually gets built up better than before, okay? When you're trying to fix a car or whatever, you have to take apart the parts and then fix them again. Renovation, you have to break down the walls, take whatever is already originally there, and then replace it with better ones. Okay, that's just a part of growth, man. So it says, and be patient when thou art changed into the lower state. Why? Because the Lord is about to build you up. Okay. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Okay. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall. So whatever you're going through, wait for the mercy of the Lord. Okay, endure it until the Lord says, what? Okay, it's time for you. You know, I seen what you're going through. I did that on purpose. You might not know why I did it, but you about to find out if you can endure until, you know, I decide it's time. All right. Let me see. Verse 8. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Okay. Verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? See, that's something to keep in mind, because a lot of the prophets of old, they went through some ish, man. They went through some hardcore stuff. But at the moment, some of them might have felt like, damn, yo, man, this don't feel good. You know, that's why they wept and read about what they did. They wept, they fasted, they prayed, and they sought the Lord. And what happened? The Lord delivered them. Okay, because when you look at it, it was like, oh, okay, there's a reason why you have to go through this, because it made you like this, you know. So, hey, I'm gonna end it there. Okay, I hope that was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. And you know, just I hope us were able to learn something. But hey, we gotta constantly remain patient, okay, and allow the Lord to do his work, man. Okay, regardless of how we feel about it. All right, but with that, I'm gonna say shalom.